What if the most overlooked coin in your pocket once carried the weight of a revolution? Look closer. That silver-colored dollar from 1979 is not just metal. It is the first circulating United States coin to place a real American woman on its face. Not a symbol, not a goddess. A living, fighting, uncompromising person named Susan B. Anthony. And the story behind this rare coin is far more dramatic than most people ever realize. Picture the late 1970s. The country is still wrestling with equality, with change, with what progress actually looks like. The large Eisenhower dollar has become unpopular, too big, too heavy. The government wants a smaller dollar that people will actually use. They choose Susan B. Anthony, the relentless suffragist who spent her life demanding the vote for women. In 1979, the United States Mint releases her portrait into everyday commerce. For the first time in American history, a real woman's face enters the stream of cash registers, vending machines, and pockets across the nation. Hold the coin in your mind. The obverse shows Anthony in profile, hair pulled back, expression steady and resolute. The word liberty arches above her. The date 1979 sits at the bottom, to the right of her chin. In God we trust. The design is the work of Chief Engraver Frank Gasparro. He gave her dignity without glamour, strength without softness. The reverse carries an eagle landing on the moon, adapted from the Apollo 11 insignia. Stars surround the design. United States of America and $1 complete the message. It is a coin that tries to speak of both past struggle and future possibility at the same time. Yet almost immediately, the public rejects it. The diameter is 26.5 millimeters, nearly identical to a quarter. Same color, same feel in the hand. Cashiers mix them up. People complain. The Susan B. becomes a punchline instead of a breakthrough. Production continues for only a few years before the Mint largely abandons the experiment. Later, it returns briefly in 1999, but the damage is done. A historic coin is treated like a failure. That rejection is part of what makes the 1979 dollar so interesting to collectors today. Most examples still trade near face value. Circulated pieces usually bring $1 or $2. Uncirculated examples often sit between $2 and $5, but certain details change everything. Look at the rim. On some 1979 P coins, the rim is wider and the date sits closer to the edge. Collectors call this the wide rim or near-date variety. It is scarcer than the common narrow rim, far-date version. In higher grades, the difference in value becomes noticeable. Mint marks matter too. A tiny P appears on Philadelphia coins, the first time that Mint used a mark on circulating coinage in decades. Denver carries a D. San Francisco produced both business strikes and proofs with an S. Among the proofs, two styles of the S mint mark exist. The clearer Type 2 is the one collectors chase harder. Condition is everything. These copper nickel-clad coins took a beating in commerce. Bag marks, scratches, and wear destroy value quickly. A coin that looks ordinary in a jar can still be special if it escaped heavy circulation and kept its original luster. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC separate the common from the exceptional. In the highest grades, even ordinary dates become scarce. In the wide rim variety or the better proof styles, the numbers climb further. Still, most $1979 remain accessible. That accessibility is part of their quiet power. Almost anyone can own a piece of this history. Hidden details reward careful eyes. The 11-sided appearance of the inner border was meant to help the blind and to distinguish the coin from quarters by touch. In practice, the difference was subtle. The designer's initials FG sit near Anthony's shoulder, the eagle's wings, the positioning of the stars, the exact relationship between the date and the rim. These are the small things collectors study under magnification, the details that separate a common coin from one that carries a premium. Why do people still care? Because this coin represents a moment when the nation tried to put its ideals into metal. Susan B. Anthony never lived to cast a ballot. She died in 1906, 14 years before the 19th Amendment. Yet in 1979, her face entered the pockets of millions. The coin became a daily reminder of unfinished work. Some collectors feel a personal connection to that story. Others simply enjoy the challenge of finding better examples or completing a short, affordable set. The emotional attachment runs deeper than pure investment. These coins feel like small survivors of a bold experiment that the public never fully accepted. Imagine the atmosphere of 1979. Cassette tapes, gas lines, the first personal computers appearing in homes, and somewhere in a bank vault or a cash drawer sits a brand new dollar bearing the face of a woman who once faced arrest for voting. That contrast is cinematic. Ordinary commerce carrying extraordinary history. Are there rare errors? Yes, but they are uncommon. Off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and major doubling exist and can bring strong prices when authenticated. Most coins, however, are ordinary. The real story is not fantasy riches. It is the quiet persistence of a coin that refused to disappear completely from the collector imagination. So the next time you open a change jar or empty a pocket, pause. That 1979 dollar may not make you wealthy overnight, but it carries a chapter of American history that many people walk past without noticing. It asks a quiet question: what other overlooked objects around us still hold forgotten meaning? If you have one of these coins, look at the rim. Check for a mint mark. Study the date's position. Feel the weight of the story it carries. Then tell me in the comments, have you ever found a 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar that surprised you? What does this coin mean to you? History does not always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it waits patiently in the change. And sometimes the most powerful stories are the ones we almost ignored.